if you have clippers, say, for example, I would say the thing about using clippers or when using scissors is to break the haircut into sections. And I think that's the easiest way so you don't get overwhelmed or don't lose where you are in the haircut. So I would say that when using clippers on a short haircut, I would section out the hair and I would use a clip like this or any sort of like claw or butterfly clip and take out the top section where you want it to be the longest, clip it up, and then put on one of the guards to a shorter setting, to the one of like a number 2. The lower the numbers on the guards, the more hair it will cut off. So the shorter the hair will go. So put the guard on with the top hair clipped up and then just move it up until where you have your hair clipped and just move it all around. If you feel like you'd like it shorter, take it off the guard, put a smaller one on and then go back over it. So then you would just have this done. And on top, I would put on a guard to keep it at long. I would say start little and then move up. So put one of the biggest guards on, so you take the least amount of hair on the top, because we don't want to do too much of the top because you could look silly. So start with a bigger one and just go through. And then if you see it's not enough, then change the guard to take off more. So I think, you know, it just makes it easier and less stressful by sectioning. I think that is the most helpful thing I could tell you. So you're not just going there willy-nilly, like buzzing all over, you know, unless you want to do that. But if you want to keep it nice, like what our guys got going on now, if you want to keep it shorter here and longer here, just simply clip it up, I would say. And I would say same for if you're cutting long hair like mine say, you just divide it into sections of the front, in front of the ear, and then the back. What would be helpful is to use a comb down the hair, put your fingers right on top, and then you're holding your hair taut, and then you can just cut in a straight line. You know, it's easier when someone else is helping you, but I would say just section it, hold it down straight, and cut. And it is easier when hair is wet when you're using scissors, because you can get more of a precise cut. When you're using clippers, make sure the hair is dry. So I hope that wasn't too much information, but I think that the sectioning is the key to not overwhelming yourself with an at-home haircut. I would say yes, it's similar. I think for women, we usually try not to do, we try to do softer edges. I would say for men, it's a little more crisp and square. For women, for example, your haircut, I would probably, you can use clippers, or you can use some scissors, and women don't normally have a straight line here and here. It's usually softer, like your bangs are. And I would suggest using scissors and not going this way. I would go up this way, and I would cut into the hair to make it soft. It makes it look soft, and it takes weight out of your hair. Because sometimes if you just go like this, you'll end up with a very harsh line. So by going up this way, you'll take out some hairs in there, and you'll end up with something that's a little more feathered and soft. But in general, like what you have right now, I think if you feel like it's too heavy, use your scissors and go up like that. And if you can, I would use the sharpest scissors that you have, because if they're a little dull, it'll just kind of rip your hair and it shred it, and it won't look very, very nice. So make sure they're sharp scissors that you're using. If you wanted, you could use both. You can start with clippers, because then you can get like most of the length off using clippers, and that's much easier to use when you're doing it to yourself. And then if you'd like, because you have such thick hair and you want to go in for the details, if you want, like you already did, you then can go in with the scissors and give it that detail of feathering and taking weight out. I think that that would be easiest. And in fact, that's what we do in the salon is we use a lot of times for short haircuts, we'll go in with clippers and then detail it with scissors. So I think what you did was good. I think in order to get the back and the sides, clippers might be the easiest when you're doing it on yourself. I would put nothing in there because I think it'll make it sticky. So it'll make it like any sort of product when you cut it will make it a little too hard to comb through or cut through. So I would just do it on clean hair. You know, you're lucky with curly hair. It's you can see less. If you screw something up on curly hair, it's harder to see. So I'll say it's probably a little easier with curly hair. You know, if you're not cutting the bottom, then you can go and shorten up the top. But usually you can decide how long you want the top to be based off of how long the bottom is. So that's why it's easiest to start here and then go to the top. Say it's, if you want to do crew cut, just use the clipper all the way. Yeah.
Okay.
Straight hair is actually a little more difficult. You're gonna have a little more difficulty, but you can do it. I say just a little bit because curly hair can hides any sort of cut or with straight thick hair, it is a little more difficult. Only a little more. It's gonna be fine. I don't think there's a way to make the clipper quieter. Would you be able to, would he be okay with putting some headphones on? Maybe if you put them on like this way, he could hold them on like this, or maybe once he knows what to expect, it'll be okay. Yeah. Don't get overwhelmed. Just break it up into sections. Think of the head as in sections. You have you have the sides, you have the back, and you have the top. And once you break it down like that, you start doing it, you can see it's more clear once you start doing that. So yeah, don't get overwhelmed. Just break it down slowly.